My name is Brenda Lewis, and I'm doing a persuasive speech today on whether or not the Highway State Department should change the speed limit from 70 miles per hour to 65 miles per hour. Every day when we get up and we leave home from our loved ones, we always tell them we'll see them later on this afternoon. But the fact of the matter is, will we see them? Or will we make it home that afternoon? I remember about a couple of years ago, as I was working in a local Montgomery hospital, working in the emergency room, we received a call from the paramedic's phone. At that time, they notified us that we had an emergency call coming in from a motor vehicular accident that happened on Interstate 85. At that time, we got our trauma room prepared, and when the victim came in, it was a young 20-year-old male. The emergency room department staff, we worked on that young man for 45 minutes. And he never not once had one scratch on him, but just a small trickle of blood that he had out of the left ear. We worked on him and we worked on him, but we could not revive him due to the trauma that he had to his head. And I had to go along with the emergency room physician to notify his loved ones that that young man was deceased and he wouldn't be able to make it back home that night. And I have seen numerous of these things happen during my nursing career, and I have been nursing for 27 years, working in the emergency department. And that gave me the hope that maybe we can just decrease our speed limit to 65 miles per hour and help some loved ones come home at night to their families. And the reason why I'm doing this persuasive speech is I am not that big of a person. I don't have credentials, really. I am just a mother. I'm a driver, but most importantly, I'm that emergency room nurse that will have to work on these victims when they come into the emergency department after having these type of accidents. And I am the nurse that will have to accompany the ER doctor and go to these family members and tell them that their family members are deceased and won't be able to make it home. The reason why I'm doing this, I looked online and I noticed that the State Department said that 0.42 to 0.75% of the deaths in our state is from speeding accidents that happens on our highways. And I feel like that we can do something to prevent these speeding accidents from occurring. During our daily driving, we get so caught up in what we're doing when we're driving. We find ourselves talking and texting on the phone. We have people who drink and drive, and when we drink and drive, we are impaired, but our mind does not tell us that we are impaired, and we feel as though we can make it home when in actuality we cannot. And then there are other drivers that have other people in the car with them, and we get caught up in having conversations and we get distracted, and the speed limit just excels, and before we know it, we have an accident. So I think that some of these things can be modified for us to stop doing it. And the first thing that I think that we could do is we can stop texting and talking on the phone. If we know that someone is driving and they call us on the telephone, we can just tell them, look, why don't you call me or text me back when you reach your destination, because I want your mind to be paid attention to on the highway and what's going on. Therefore, you can make it safely. And secondly, when we know that we have a person who's drinking and driving, and if we're out and we're having dinner or we're out to a party somewhere and that person becomes impaired, then maybe as a friend or a loved one, we can say, listen, let me take you to your destination, and maybe we can get your vehicle to you tomorrow when you're sober, and that could save someone's life. And thirdly, when we're in the vehicle with other people, maybe we might need to keep our conversations down to a minimal or just listen to some soft music at times to try not to distract the driver. I am challenging all of my fellow students, all of my family members, all of my friends to just sign petitions, call your congressman, write a letter or anything that we can do to decrease the speed limit on our highways so that we can decrease some of the deaths on the highways with our children and our family members and our friends. I just issue a challenge and a call to action to everyone, because when we sit at home at night and we have dinners with our family members, we want to see everybody at our table for dinner. We don't want to have an empty spot due to a family member that has died and just sit there and remember whether or not, well, this is where my father used to sit and this is where my sister or my brother used to sit before they had a car accident. So I'm asking you, please, if you can just talk to your friends, if you have someone who drinks and drives, kind of be around that friend that you know when they're going to be doing all this drinking and driving. Kind of just make yourself be the person to say, okay, I'm not going to drink tonight. I'm going to be the driver, and I'm going to make sure that that person gets home. And also, if you're the one that's texting and talking while you're driving, having to hold that telephone up to your ear, that's distracting. I mean, even if you have to get a Bluetooth or some wireless device, if you just have to talk on the phone, do something else that can kind of help you from having an accident. You could be that one that's killed, or you could be the one that's speeding and kill someone else. And if you're the survivor, I don't think that you will ever be the same, knowing that you have taken someone away from their family, someone's loved one. And we need to kind of curb these tendencies that we have to continue to display this type behavior. I know that the safety department has done several different things they can do. They've done click it and ticket. They've done trying to pass laws about people texting and talking on the telephone to try not to irritate the drivers, but to try and save lives. I'm quite sure being a state trooper is a hard job. Being the first person to get on the scene of an accident is not easy. And being able to have to tell the family that they have not survived is very, very hard. So I will plead with you once again to please stand with me and try to see if we can get our roadways safe, decrease the number of deaths on our highways, and try and stop it from 70 miles per hour to 65 miles per hour, so that the next time when you eat at your dinner table, you can have your complete family with you. Thank you.